Your grandmother.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought her up, and you called her your Baca.
My Baca.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you tell me that story that you're talking about?
Yeah. So this is, I think, of anything that I tell on this podcast, I would say this is probably the most important thing that I could share. And so several years ago, my Baca got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and the doctors told her she had a couple months to live. It was shocking to our family. She was what I consider young, 67, one of the healthiest people seemingly in our family. And so when I got the news, I flew home to the Bay Area to be with her in Pittsburgh, and I walked in the door, and as soon as I walked in, she pulled me in her room, shut the door, sat me down, and literally asked a question that changed the trajectory of my entire life. She just said, if you were in my shoes and you knew you were going to die in 2 months, what would you do? And you have to remember, at this point, I'm driving the BMW, I'm doing marketing, I think I'm doing on the outside what I was supposed to do to be successful. Right. And she just said, close your eyes, get quiet, and listen. If you were in my shoes and you knew you were going to die in 2 months, what would you do? And literally, I felt this like wave of emotion come just running through me, and I just blurted out, I would quit everything I'm doing and I would record an album. I would stop everything. I would just do music. I would throw it all away and do music. And she just looked at me and she was like, I know. Baby, I know. And I was like, you know, what? You know? And she said, ever since you were a little kid, you've always wanted that. That's always been inside of you. But I let all the kids who tease me about being gay, who tease me about being different, all the bullying, all the trauma, the paycheck, I let all that stuff make me think I wasn't good enough or suited for that dream. And I stopped myself, and we all do this. We all have these dreams that we limit ourselves on because we think we're too fat or too old or too ugly or too gay or we waited too long or we're women or we're too poor. We all have these things, you know, and in that moment, when my grandma asked me that question, it woke me up to that dream that I almost let die. But the thing is, our dreams, it's very Elizabeth Gilbert, you know, they don't give up on us. They're always right there waiting for us to claim them and make them manifest into the world. So she made me look her in the eyes and promise her that I would do it. And it was amazing. I had this vision in my head when she said that of me sometime later in my life climbing all the way up this marketing mountain, which I would have got to the top too because I'm an overachiever, you know, all the way to the top of this marketing mountain sometime later in life. Getting to the top, looking across and saying, damn, I spent all this time climbing to the top of the wrong mountain.
Wow.
And I saw it. I knew that was a reality that would be for me if I didn't make a choice. So I promised my grandma I would do the album, and so grateful to say I stepped into that, and I ended up putting out an album that charted in the top 20, which blew me the hell away.
Yeah.
And I remember I used to regret that I didn't start music sooner, because when I started, you know, I was like, oh, I'm kind of good. Like, oh, I'm getting better at this. Damn it. Like, what if I would have started when I was 12, you know?
Right.
But it was because of my experience in marketing that my album was able to chart. If it wasn't for that marketing experience, I would have never been able to put out an album that did that as an independent artist. And so what I want to share is that, like, no experience is wasted. We're exactly on the journey we're supposed to be on, but when we have those whispers and those moments, and we all know when they come in our lives, when they're trying to wake us up and point us in the right direction, it's our responsibility to move.